Attorney's Office.
Yes, can I speak with the investigator there, the DA's investigator?
Do you have a particular investigator in mind, or?
I think his name is Miles Lewis. Does he work there or no?
I haven't quite met everyone here yet, so let me look at the phone list. I do not see a Miles Lewis.
Okay. There was a... Okay, well, who is in his place then now? Because there was a Miles Lewis.
Let's see. We have Jennifer Davis. We have Aaron Moe.
Okay. I guess Jennifer Davis. Is she there or no?
I'm not sure. I would have to call upstairs to find out.
Yeah, because I want to be able to speak with somebody and not get their message machine. You know what I mean?
Okay. What was your name?
Oh, I'll tell them when I get to talk to them.
Okay.
Thanks.
Investigations.
Yes, who am I speaking with?
Hello?
Yes, who am I speaking with?
Hi, this is an investigator at the District Attorney's Office. Can I help you?
Yes. Are you the investigator or no?
I'm one of our investigators.
Okay, may I have your name?
Jennifer.
Oh, is this Jennifer Davis?
Yes.
Okay. So, does Miles Lewis not work there anymore?
I'm sorry?
Miles Lewis?
Were you working with him before?
I had spoken with him before, yes. Does he not work? Does he not work there anymore?
I'm not really able to confirm that information, but I can help you if you need something.
Okay, because...
Or I can try to help you. What are you calling about?
Well, I'm calling about, let's see, how should I say this? I have ongoing lawsuits right now at the Sacramento Federal Court, and I am trying to see, Miles Lewis, I spoke with him. I can't give you the specific date at this moment when I spoke with him, but I wanted to confirm that because I'm suing the Davis police, I have ongoing lawsuits against them, that I don't have a warrant on me for them to be able to tap my phone or spy on me or use the media and their satellites to spy on me, that sort of thing. So that's why I'm calling, because honestly, of course, the media doesn't have a jurisdiction to spy on anybody. Would you agree?
I mean,
they're not the police. They're not the DA. They're not the DOJ. They are...
The media, right.
That's right. So they don't have a jurisdiction to violate anybody's privacy, nor does UC Davis and their satellite system.
Do you have a case here with us?
I have a case at Sacramento Federal Court and the Ninth Circuit in San Francisco. So I have cases there, and they're ongoing. And so I'm calling to see if you can tell me if my name has ever been on there as any type of investigation, or I've never had a felony, I've never had a 5150, I've never been jailed, but I do have lawsuits against the police because they brutalized me back in 2007 after I reported their family members that are felons and that were my neighbors, and they retaliated against me. And they racially profiled my boyfriend at the time, who's black, and I'm multiracial. And they, Powell and McNiven of the Davis Police, unlawfully entered my apartment and used tasers to brutalize me at the same time. And all of this can be confirmed at the Woodland Court. So I've lived in Davis since I was 9 years old. You know, there's no reason for the conspiracies and the blacklisting and the horrific hate crimes that I've endured, including an illegal spy breach. And so I'm just wondering if you will have the integrity to be honest and tell me if they have ever tried to place any type of investigation on me. Miles Lewis said that they did not, but I'm calling to confirm that.
Okay, what's your name?
Tanya Grace McDaniel.
How do you spell your first name?
Tanya.
And middle name?
Grace, Grace.
And last name?
McDaniel, Mcdaniel.
Okay. I don't have access to Davis police records. I can see if you have anything with our office.
Okay.
If anything's been sent to our office with your name. But I can't access all of Davis police records unless they've sent the records to our office.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That makes sense, but can you request them? Can you request anything that's been said so that I can have access?
I cannot unless I have a legal reason.
Okay,
so
well, I pretty much am your legal reason because I've got lawsuits at the federal court ongoing, and you can go and research those.
Well, so what I can do is I can look in our system and see if anything matching your name is in our system.
Sure. I'll hold.
But I can't just request Davis police records.
Right, but anything that would be there would be also at the Woodland Court.
No.
Is that not true?
No.
No. And why is that?
Each police department holds their own records.
Okay.
We don't have access to a lot of things unless they're sent to us.
Right.
Unless they're shared with us. So there's a lot of police reports because of whatever reason, either the case doesn't, there's no arrest or there's no prosecution requested. Then the police departments, all over the state of California, have records that DA's offices don't have.
Okay, so they can make false reports against anybody that they don't like and just hold them there.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, because the Woodland Court told me that anything that would be, I asked them if there was anything reported about me that they would have access to that, and that would be in their courthouse. And they said yes.
If it was something that went through the court system, yes, that's true. But there's a lot of, traffic accident reports, for example. If there's a traffic accident and it's not a crime or no one got a citation or anything like that, then something like that wouldn't necessarily come to the DA's office because we don't keep records for every agency.
Okay.
But if there was a traffic accident and someone received a citation and they would need to go through the court process, then it would come to our office. Okay.
Well, in 2013, I did not get in a traffic accident, but I had Officer Vigna harass me. He gave me a false parking citation, and I was in this parking area alone at night, and he gave me a false parking citation and called for backup. Officer Powell, who brutalized me in my apartment years before, and he had never told me why, never searched my car, none of that. He just was harassing me. And then when it went, finally when they let me go and released me, you know, after yelling at me and just totally harassing me, I went to the Woodland traffic court, and he amended it 3 times because the citation that he gave me didn't even exist. And then he amended it 2 more times. Your office sent me the dash cam, a Wendy Wilson, I thought her name was, of the DA's office. Or Wilcox, that's what her name was. She sent me the dash cam for that. And O'Mara, he just granted it to them. He didn't care about the dash cam, he didn't care about the evidence, he just granted it to them. And I was just, so from that point, I filed a federal court lawsuit for ongoing harassments, preceding the situation of the police brutality, because honestly, I mean, I had to be able to get access for legal advocacy to get me started on that process. And I had already filed, you know, numerous City of Davis claims, you know, that go all the way back from 2009, before the 2-year statute of the Davis police brutality incident. So, I mean, I was filing all these things, and they were telling me, you know, YC Permia was just telling me all these things, because this has been an ongoing thing. I was raped in my apartment in 2005, and Penrose was supposed to be the investigating officer. And then in 2000, I had to relocate. He told me to relocate. And I relocated, but the only place I could relocate was down, you know, like a mile away. Upon me relocating, my neighbors were drug traffickers and keeping me up all night. I later found that they were connected with police. Eva Ponce is related to a cop, Figueroa, and they are connected with the Davis police. My neighbors that were drug trafficking, Manny and Cheree Peltier, staying there as squatters, were drug trafficking also with my neighbors and Andrew Miller, and they all have cop relatives. Manny and Cheree Peltier related to DPD Zuniga, and also there is a Andrew Miller that was related to Royce Miller. So with all of this said, you know, they retaliated against me for reporting them after I had already expressed my need for safety. And, you know, I was harassed, my life was threatened, my car was vandalized on numerous occasions. They, you know, broke my porch light so that I couldn't see walking up to my apartment at nighttime. I mean, just a whole gamut of things happened there. And, you know, right before I was brutalized from cops and telling them, you know, legal jargon about safety and peace and my rights and da-da-da-da, all of that stuff, there was a Jewish man who was beaten in his apartment. And I'm multiracial and Jewish DNA. And this man was beaten. I don't know if he died or if he lived, but I do know that my neighbors, Charles and Mike Campbell, that were drug trafficking with Eva Ponce and Andrew Miller, I know that they're skinheads, and so, you know, my belief is that they were totally associated with that. And then there was another woman that was raped in her apartment, and that happened in the summer of 2007, right before I was brutalized. And I was brutalized July 23rd, 2007. And so, you know, right after I had gathered reports from the Davis police, which was on July 12th of 2007, they they came in shortly after, and they knocked on my door, said that I slammed my door, and that there was a report that I had slammed my door, like, after hours. It was like after 9 a.m. in the morning, and I showed him the weathering of my door. This was Officer McNiven, and he came in, and he didn't come into my apartment, but he said, and I told him about the issue of my neighbors and why weren't the cops handling all these things, and he said he didn't like my attitude, so he was going to come back to take force. And I was puzzled by that statement, and so I said, well, I'm going to go report you to the police, to the deputy there, and within minutes he was back banging on my door and calling my boyfriend out at the time. He called him out. My boyfriend's African American. About 5 cops put him to the ground, and screaming at him, yelling at him, all that kind of stuff. And they slammed the door on me and told me to stay inside my apartment while they proceeded to scream at him and manhandle him and demand his ID and all this kind of stuff.
Is this all part of your lawsuit in Sacramento?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is ongoing stuff.
Yeah, so we're not able to access any of that, and we don't have anything in our office involving against you. So we don't have anything that it looks like is involving you at this time, which is good.
Okay, so how do I get the media and the satellites of the media and UC Davis to stop violating my privacy rights? Because I'm not sure if you will be honest about knowing about the global movement, but that started from harassments against me, and I'm aware of the ELF mind control and radiation towers used, and the frequency flyer towers and the frequency flyers. I'm aware of MK Ultra being used on people, and the military being a part of this. I'm aware of all sorts of things, and I'm just like, I have the right to my constitutional rights that have been totally annihilated. I've been blacklisted. I haven't been able to establish housing. You have a woman there named Nunez that I know is, she's a part of the housing, like fair housing establishment in Yolo County, but I also believe that she's related to cops in Yolo County and people that have totally blacklisted me from being able to establish housing.
Unfortunately, I don't have any say over the media or any control or capability to make the media do anything.
Okay.
So that definitely goes much more beyond anything that anyone in our office handles.
But you do understand that violates a person's Amendment 14 right to their privacy.
I just don't even know enough to speak about that.
Okay.
I mean, quite honestly, I don't want to give you some false answer. I don't even have no idea as far as what's going on or what the involvement is.
All right. Well, I would encourage you to go view my lawsuits at the Sacramento Federal Court. I have current cases going on there right now, and I'm just, if I can't get an authority that is of any sort that is assigned a level of judicial justice, whether it be a DA, cop, or court, to protect my constitutional rights, then what is it that I can do? How can I establish housing? How can I establish my right to Amendment 14 and safety and privacy and peace and justice and all of those things? I mean, how can I establish that?
Do you have a lawyer working on your case?
I am my lawyer.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes.
I mean, you sound more knowledgeable about that issue than I know about, and I can't give legal advice.
And I'm not asking you to. I'm just saying, you know, as your position to uphold the law, you know, this is kind of in your realm, you know, of, you know, if I'm not mistaken, you're above the police and can investigate any misconduct. And, you know, these are things that, you know, I'm just like, what do I do? I mean, I can only file so many thousand lawsuits and get the court to tell me Williams versus California states that cops have no obligation to protect and serve, you know, to manipulate law and coddle corrupt police. You know, I mean, I'm not only suing cops for emotional distress and misconduct and brutality, but also negligence. I mean, I've been harassed in my community where I've had, you know, people threaten to stab me at a Target store, and YC Permia refusing to give me their camera, and the cops won't give me that. Dushnov was the investigator there. He's refused to give me the dash cam there. And Miranda Grice said, oh, no, we don't have any cop flyers that fly about, you know, Yolo County and Davis that, you know, surveillance the area. I mean, and no, I'm sorry, I can't give you that. And, oh, that's so terrible that you were raped and incest raped and brutalized from cops, and they won't investigate any of this, and that this guy right here tried to stab you, and I can totally see what he did in the video. Oh, that's so terrible. You know, oh, gosh, I don't know what to do about that. I mean, this is in response to my claims against the city that went to YC Permian. I had a meeting with them back in 2014, and they, you know, I mean, how do you deny somebody that's got a stack of medical reports, police reports, total evidence, dash cams, all of this stuff, and, oh, sorry, is the response that I get. And as far as the global movement goes, I have documented on also reported in the courts that my ex is a retired Oakland NFL Raider, Lester Hayes, and he was violent with me some years ago. So he is part of the problems of all of this, but certainly he has no jurisdiction over why a media or UC Davis has violated my privacy rights and tried to, you know, make a bunch of locals famous, you know, to play a game so that they would be silent and shut their mouths, you know, about the horrific, inhumane atrocities made against me and the violations of, you know, human rights, you know, made from the military and cops and, you know, on and on and on, things that have been verified and researched. I mean, even Mark Klein versus AT&T and DirecTV, there's an NSA, there's a lawsuit there in San Francisco where he exposed all of this back in, I'm going to say, 2013, 2014. And, you know, so, I mean, these are just things that, you know, sound total crazy if you just blurt them out, you know, but if you can say them and have, you know, proof of what you're saying, because they all just act like they're playing a game, like this is just some fun game movement. It's a movement from terrorizing me, you know, and that's totally not acceptable.
Absolutely. It sounds like you're doing the right thing by doing the lawsuit.
Yeah.
It's an uphill battle, it sounds like, but you're going the right direction.
Well, I'm just wondering, I mean, is there anything that you can do to help me in that way, to see, like, A, if cops are saying anything in their office, you know, because they've refused to give me all their reports when I have requested them in the past. They will give me the very minimal of things. I mean, they refused to even give me the report of me being raped back in 2005, and I had the hospital make that report. And
when is the last time that you've had contact with Davis Police?
Well, I don't call them. You know, I don't.
When's the last time that you requested something from them?
I think that
there's a lawsuit. They have to file, or I mean, follow certain rules.
Right.
And that's beyond me because that's through the city attorney.
Yeah. Well, they did have an attorney, but their attorney was from UC Davis. And
so the UC Davis Police or Davis Police? Davis
Police, but I also am suing Davis. Their cop Arias, UC Davis PD Arias, illegally stopped me on E Street to scream at me. My bank is right there on E Street, and Kinko's, where I, you know, go and work on my lawsuits. And he stopped me. Let me think. I'm trying to remember when that was, but totally obstructed traffic just to go up to my car and scream at me. And so I reported him, and you know, they said, oh yeah, cops have the right to, you know, say anything to anybody, even if they're campus police. And I'm like, no, they really don't have that jurisdiction whatsoever. He said that I was on my phone. I wasn't on my phone. I had my phone in my hand. And he totally went right in the middle of the street and was walking. I knew that he was stalking me because he was parked right by my bank. And
How long ago was this?
This was, I'm going to say maybe 2014, 2015. But I've had ongoing lawsuits. There was 17, let me see, 17-16335 at the San Francisco 9th Circuit. And so, you know, just ongoing stuff that...
So what are you requesting from me exactly?
I'm requesting to see if you can gather all of the reports that have my name attached to them at Davis.
So the only reason I can get a report is for legal purposes. I can't get reports and release them to people.
Okay, so, well, this is a legal purpose. I am a pro se litigant.
Right, but you're in the middle of a lawsuit. I can't get reports and hand them over to you.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Well, I'm the plaintiff. I'm the one filing these lawsuits.
Right.
So...
the way to get Davis Police reports directly, I mean, I can certainly call them and see what their policy is as far as that goes, because I don't know that off the top of my head because I don't work for Davis Police. But as far as that goes, I mean, I can call and verify that information and relay it back to you.
Right.
But I can't request reports on your behalf, basically, because there's a lawsuit and they won't give them to you. Like, that's not a legal reason that I can access them.
Okay, so when...
Because that would be like I was acting as your attorney, which I'm not allowed to do.
Okay, but when Wendy Wilcox stated that I had the right to the dash cam in 2013, July 2013, and gave me that dash cam, how is that any different?
I don't know. I can certainly try to contact Wendy about that and ask her and see how that was done. That's not something in my position that I do. I don't release things. Maybe Wendy is able to do that, or the circumstances were different. So if you would like, you can give me your phone number, and I can ask some questions and call you back.
Okay, can I just call you back?
You can certainly try. I'm not at my office all the time. I'm out in the field quite a bit.
Okay. Is there an extension?
Yeah, I have a desk number. You can leave a message, and I can call you back.
Okay. I'll just go ahead and take the extension.
Okay, it's 666-8372 is my desk number. You don't have a phone number I can call you back on?
Well, feeling vulnerable right now, like all of my rights are completely annihilated. I don't really feel comfortable giving my phone number.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
I mean, is there an extension?
What's that?
I mean, I guess I could take the extension and just tell you that I'll call you back at a certain time, or you could tell me.
Yeah, that's my number. The number I just gave you is the number.
Okay.
And then if I'm not here, obviously you leave a message, and kind of in and out all day.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll catch me, and sometimes you won't.
Okay. So, when is the best time to call you? Is around this time, or?
Anywhere from 8 until 5. It just kind of depends. I'm not always at my desk.
Okay.
But you can always certainly try, and if I'm not here, call back or leave a message if you'd like to do that. But that's my direct line.
Okay. And and I document like all my calls because I'm doing a docu-series. So I mean, this goes along with my lawsuits and all of that. So I just wanted to let you know that because I need to be